Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about financial aid. I know it's big on everyone's minds right now because October is Financial Aid Awareness Month. And so FAFSA went live, the challenge went live, and so we want to make sure that you're on board, ready to get it started. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is financial aid. So I don't know if you can see all these little words on here, but financial aid is the money that you're going to get to go to college. So it's available in the United States exclusively to students attending a post-secondary educational institution. So you can see on this slide that there are many sources of aid, including federal aid, state aid, institutional aid, which would be the college that you're choosing to attend. And then there are different sources of private aid. Typically, that comes in the forms of maybe loans or corporations, religious organizations, cultural organizations, professional and service organizations. There's just so many. And so throughout this next couple of months, I'm going to be putting some information on my Facebook page that will give you some sources of scholarships that you can check out. So I want to be sure that you are doing that. All right, let's move on. All right, let's look at the different sources of financial aid. So obviously we have grants. We talk a lot about grants because grants are the free money that students get. And one of the largest ones that we talk about is the Pell Grant, which in 2020, the Pell Grant for the students who attended college in the 1920 year was $6,345. So you can see how that money will impact you as you go to college. Let's say, for instance, you're going to a college that is a 2-year college and your cost of attendance is low, then you could get all of that money paid towards your balance, and then you could actually get a refund check in your hand. Now, that refund check, we don't want you to blow that. We want you to use that in a smart way by putting it in a bank to draw interest and saving it for your year 3 and 4 of college when you might have to transfer to a 4-year institution. Or you can use it for educational expenses like a computer or different things like that that are going to cost you money as you're going to school. Grants do not have to be repaid, so that's one of the reasons that we like to focus on those first. We also had the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunities Grant called the FSEOG. That is a campus-based program, so it's only available as the money is there at the college campus. And you have to be Pell eligible for that. The award amounts vary from around $100 to $4,000. So it just is based on how much money is going to be there for you. So there are some other grants. One I want to caution you about is the TEACH grant. That sounds really super exciting for students who are going into the teaching profession. And we know we need more students in that profession. But what happens is if you take that as a freshman and you decide, teaching is not really for me, I don't want to do teaching, then that grant rolls into a loan. So I want you to be very cautious about taking a TEACH grant. Remember that grants are based on need. If you qualify for the Pell Refund, which was $6,345 or will be, then the amount can be given back to you as a refund check. So very important to remember those things. All right, let's talk about scholarships because besides grants, scholarships are other free source of aid that we want you to be aware of. So you can get scholarships for a variety of reasons. You can get it for being a stellar academic student. You can get it performance-based on your athletics or if you're in the band or in choir or things like that. You just need to reach out at the college or university that you're wanting to attend and talk to them and see what they have available. A lot of scholarships will require you to write an essay, and I tell the students this all the time. I have students who say, I don't know what to write about myself. Well, scoot over. Let's talk about how awesome you are. I will never forget, I won't name his name, but I had a student probably 10 years ago, maybe. I'm going to age him. Maybe not that long, but he was like, Miss Pam, I don't know what to write about. I was like, scoot over, let's do this together. So tell me about you. Do you work? And he said, well, yeah, I bag groceries. Well, all right. Are you keeping up good grades while you're working? And he said, yeah, I'm taking concurrent classes. I've got a really good grade point average. Well, that's awesome, right? Are you playing a sport? Well, yeah, I'm on my team. Do you know what sports can teach you? You can learn so many lessons that you can focus on in an essay through your opportunities in sports. So when we got finished, you had a really good essay written. It just takes a little bit of time, and you want to make sure that you have your teacher read over it. And a lot of those essays, if you write one really good one, you can tweak it for different applications and different references. So think about that. One of the things that's really great about the state of Arkansas is we have one-stop shopping for our scholarships here in Arkansas. So the Universal is where you can get, I think there's about 11 scholarships on that site. So once you fill out that Arkansas Universal, which went live October the 1st, then you can go ahead and get in the running for those scholarships. And one of the huge ones is the Arkansas Challenge. It is funded through the lottery, and it is an incredible award. If you are going to a two-year college, the freshman award is $1,000, and then the sophomore award is $3,000. Of course, you have to keep up with your grades, and you have to make sure that you're taking the right number of credits, which for the challenge, the first semester, you can take 12 hours, and every semester after that, you need to complete 15 hours. So very important if you're going to a four-year college, then that 1,000 is for the first year, 4,000 for year 2 and 3, and for your senior year, you can get $5,000 award for that. Now, one thing that students always ask me, they say, well, I've taken concurrent classes. So I have all of these concurrent hours. Can I use those and go in at the sophomore level where I'll get more money? Yes, you can. But I want you to really think about that because that may not be your best option. You see, if you go in with 27 hours, you probably, hopefully know what you want to do, and you're not going to change your major because here's the risk. If you go in at the sophomore level and then you change your mind and it takes you more time to get your degree, then you've lost a year of eligibility. But if you go in at the freshman level of $1,000, even if you've taken those concurrent classes, you go in at the freshman level and you finish early, guess what? You can use that $5,000 on your grad program as well. So it's very important that you think about it and make sure that you're very committed before you decide if you want to go in at the sophomore level. Many schools offer scholarships based on your ACT. Just now, I heard that ASU is super scoring their ACT. So a big important takeaway for you is get a good ACT score, and Educational Talent Search can help you. We've got several resources to help you boost your ACT score. Another thing important for you guys is to make sure you pay attention to deadlines. So while you're in high school, maybe your teachers have said, I'll extend the deadline. I'll give you a little bit of extra time. Not so in college. You've got to really strictly adhere to those deadlines, or you won't get the opportunities for financial aid that you need. Okay, so make sure that you're paying attention to deadlines. It is important to know the requirements of the scholarships. We talked about that just a tad about your challenge. Make sure that you know so that you don't lose that. It's very sad to get into college, go a year in, and you lose your scholarship and all your financial aid. So make sure that you know what any scholarship that you're accepting, what the requirements are to keep it. All right, work study, another great form of financial aid that you don't have to pay back. So with work study, you work on a college campus 10 to 20 hours a week, and you get paid minimum wage, but you have to go find the job. So it's not going to be automatically given to you. So if you're going to Arkansas State, you need to get on there and find out, where the job openings are, what you can do on the campus to be paid, whether it be, checking out PE equipment in the gym. Williams Baptist University has a great new program called Williams Works, and that is a great incentive for students to work and graduate debt-free. So I want you to be thinking about those opportunities. You are responsible for securing your work-study job, so don't accept someone else to do that. And you have to file the FAFSA to determine if you qualify for work-study. All right, and then we come to student loans. And some kids say, if I have to take a student loan, I'm not going to college. Well, it's not as bad as all of that. There are some really good ways that you can get student loans, but you really need to focus on what you want to do. Make sure that the career goal that you have, the major that you're going for, that there are jobs available in there so that you can pay for your college loans later on. College loans can't be forgiven. Well, sometimes they can, but most of the time they can't. And then you have to be responsible. Even if you drop out of college, you're not happy with your job that you've got, whatever, you still are responsible for those loans. So a couple of different types of loans I want you to be aware of are you have subsidized and unsubsidized. If you get a subsidized loan, which comes through you filling out the FAFSA, then the government will pay the interest on that loan while you're in college. So subsidized is based on your need, and you're locked in on your interest rate. Right now, I think that's like a 2.75. If you get an unsub loan, which anybody can, then the interest accrues while you're in college, and you are responsible for paying that back. Need is not the factor for getting that, so anybody can. So here's the deal. When you go on scholarship searches and they tell you, send us $100 and we'll make sure that you get some type of financial aid because everyone is eligible who pays this money, that's a red flag. Never pay for a scholarship search, because basically what they're telling you is, we're going to get you student loans. Anybody can get you student loans. So don't fall for that. So we have subsidized and unsubsidized. You can also get plus loans if your parents want to take out a loan for you. I advise against this because the interest rate is higher. It's based on their credit, and the repayment begins like 60 days, I think, whereas on your student loans, the student loans, you have 6 months before you have to start making a payment. Top statistics, student loan debt landscape in the 2019 year was $1.53 trillion. So you want to be very careful and informed before you take out student loan. Bachelor's degree recipients with student loans graduate with an average debt of $37,000. So I've seen kids graduate with a lot more. They did not have some very good advising on that. So make sure that you don't go overboard. It's easy to accept that money and think, well, I'll take the maximum amount of money and then I'll have that to, buy some new stereo equipment for my vehicle or whatever. But that money, while it's easy to take, it really starts to accrue, and then you have to pay all of that back later. So take the minimum that you need. You can turn back some of that money, so don't feel like you're locked into taking the maximum amount that's awarded. So that's the sources. So how do I get this money? Well, you have to fill out the FAFSA. And remember I told you October 1st was when the FAFSA went live. So the first F in FAFSA is free, so it doesn't cost you anything to do the FAFSA. You want to make sure that you're on the Gov site, not the .com site, because the .com site will require you to pay a fee at the end with a credit card. So not a good deal. So you can download the new app that they have. The new app, if you download it, the student can do their portion, then you can log out, and then the parent can also do it on the phone or the whatever your device is as well. So here's a question that I always get. I have students who say, I am 18 years old and I'm moving out of my parents' house, so I'm going to be independent. You're not, exactly, okay? So there are a lot of hoops that you have to go through to be declared independent. They're all listed there. They have to do with age, and if you have children who you are supporting more than 50% of the time, not just because you have a child if your parents are supporting it, but you have to prove that you're supporting that child. If you were in foster care since you turned 13, if you are, there's a whole list of them. I'm not going to read all of them, but I want you to go through there, and then you can determine if you are independent. Who is not a parent when you're filling out the FAFSA? So if you are independent, your parent does not have to fill out the FAFSA. But if you are dependent, you have to have at least one parent on there who helps you and gets an FSA ID to fill out the FAFSA. If you have step parents, you have to put both your step parents' income. Who is not a parent are your foster parents, your legal guardians who have not adopted you. Any relatives, including your grandparents who have not adopted you, are not your parent, okay? Step parents who have not adopted you, who are going to be the only person providing information. So what that means is, let's say, for instance, you live with your mom and your stepdad, and your mom passes away, so you only live with your stepdad.